Alright, this is Andrew with Yoda Home Inspections. We are doing a sewer scope today, August 18th, 2026. And we have the camera pushed out 160 feet. We're at 4221 Juniper Circle. That's a very long line, and I'm not yet to the end of it. I'm going to look outside for an access point. I think there are a couple access points. They didn't stand out when I was inspecting the exterior, but if I can find one, then I'll try to access the line at that point and see the rest of the line. We're seeing a lot of it, but we haven't made it to the end. And this is as far as my camera will push out. So this is PVC pipe, and that's what they still use on most new construction, is a similar type of PVC. And one of the main things is that we have proper grade. That's one of the number one things I'm watching for, is that you have proper grade, so that everything is draining on its own with gravity. You never want to see standing water, which would indicate bad grade. If you have an area that's flat or has a belly, then waste is more likely to get stuck and create a blockage. A little bit of cast iron through here, and I think that's probably a clean out somewhere outside. Which is a good start. Good to know that there hopefully is one, but sometimes they're cut off or buried, and so just because there's a clean out doesn't mean that it's necessarily one that we'll be able to find or use. I'm pulling back a fair amount of waste off of this line, and so I'm really paying attention to that. We're starting to go through some here. A little bit of buildup is okay, but if we notice that it gets too excessive, then I'll recommend that it be hydrojetted out. Hydrojetting is what they use. Basically high pressure water. It blasts out all that buildup and prevents blockages in the future. Sometimes I'll find that vacant houses, all that buildup hardens, and then when you run water, it moves around all at once and creates a blockage. So far this one doesn't look excessive, but I am pulling a lot back on my camera reel. Another access point, so you can see the opening on the top. Not uncommon to have cast iron cleanouts, but cast iron does get rough and rusty. From the 1980s, I would expect it to have a lot of life left. Now we're transitioning to ABS, and so that last cleanout was probably real close to the foundation. The downside with ABS is that the glued joints can have a tendency of leaking, and we can see some in the house, but most of them are contained in the walls. line's performing the way that you want it to be. There is a little more buildup than what I'd say is typical. Pull back up a lot of that waste on my camera reel. Honestly, I'm surprised at how much came off my camera reel with how much I could see in the actual pipe. I think there was just a long, thin amount of buildup all the way through the pipe, and so it doesn't look that bad, but when you're talking about pulling back 160 feet of line covered in it, I think it just added up. So probably not enough that I would say you absolutely need to have it cleaned out, but if you really want to be extra careful, you could have the line hydrojetted out, and that would make it a lot cleaner. We also couldn't see the entire line, and so it's a little bit of a mystery what's going on further down. I would recommend asking the seller where the clean out is outside. I'm going to look for it. But I've also inspected the exterior, and I don't recall seeing a clean out, so I'm going to look again. I'm going to end this recording now.